Hello and welcome to the FSF PopCast Live Edition. Hello and welcome to the FSF PopCast Live Edition, where we allow unicorns into the studio. But also, we want to remind you that it was actually Dr. Beverly Crusher who once said, "We have to dream in order to survive." But I'm also fairly certain that she didn't have this nightmare in mind.
Rude.
We have a ton of comments already. We've got, let's see, 3 Geeks, what's up, live chat?
Whoop, whoop.
I hope everyone's having a nice day. Whoops, wrong account. Jason Taylor, that's better. Hi, Jason. Let's see, ready for Kathleen talk to start?
Woo! Let's do it.
And when is Nick's OnlyFans starting? Tim mentioned it in one of the socials, or maybe I read that wrong. It was actually a threat to everybody that if y'all didn't sign up to our Facebook account, you guys are going to mess around and get some feet pics. And I don't have pretty feet, so you guys pretty much want to sign up.
Nobody has pretty feet. Feet are gross.
Pretty much, yeah.
That is why they are all the way down away from you.
Hello, Rosie. Welcome. Glad to have you here, and hope you guys enjoy the live show tonight.
Nick is muted.
Nick is muted, or else he'd have something really cool to tell you, I'm sure, because that mouth was moving. We still can't hear you. You've unmuted, and...
The internet does not like Nick tonight. It happens.
There's free whiskey at the Watts home, apparently, so I'm
30 bottles!
So, until Nick can get his microphone fixed, we'll just go ahead and say what he was going to say.
Well, yeah. So before we get into tonight's show, we need to say thanks to our show partner, Level Up Sabers. And then...
So whoopsie daisies, you were still talking, and
then we got rid of Nick, apparently.
Yeah, he sent a message to the private chat. Apparently, he's having some tech issues, and so they're kicking him out, and it happens. So, but if you saw that, here is the link for you guys to go ahead and click. That will give you one of these super cool level up lightsabers that I forgot to turn on because I was busy laughing at the fact that I shut down Kathleen from talking. But if you should want one of these super cool level up sabers, amazingly constructed and built, then you need to go check out Level Up Sabers with the link that is down below, because that, my friends, by purchasing one from that link helps our show continue to grow. We get a cut of that, and it helps us offset our weekly bills.
Don't do durability demonstrations against your own hand. That hurt.
No, and it is definitely not Josiah, and that is so not how I spell my last name. But hey, nice try, Jason. Good on you. He was trying. I'm going to give him an A for effort. I mean, he's way off the reservation on it, but
Timothy Patrick Star Bicycle.
And there it is. And okay, so
Patrick's...
So anyway, I'm doing the show by myself tonight, and
but I went Patrick Star because SpongeBob.
And yes, John, these lightsabers are better than a stick. So, but one more thing here, real quick, guys. If you want to help us offset some of the costs that we've been talking about, you can either buy a lightsaber with the link that was shown down below, or you can always buy us a coffee. That's right, because we like coffee. And although we'll probably buy our own coffee when you donate this money, we're probably going to use it to offset some costs. But either way, it's a nice thought, and we really do appreciate it. So, yeah. So there's that. And just real quick, sudden but inevitable, but actually it's Open Pike Night. Jesse is here. Jesse from Open Pike Night. By the way, if you guys aren't listening to Open Pike Night or haven't subscribed to their YouTube channel yet, and you're a Star Trek fan, you are severely missing out. They have some amazing content there, and they're getting some really cool guests from Strange New Worlds. We've been playing their commercial the last couple weeks on the live show. Go check them out. Go give them a listen. You will not be disappointed. But while you're doing that, buy us a coffee. It's right there in the links. It'll be down in the show notes as well.
Am I working now?
Yay!
Okay.
Welcome!
We can hear the Nick. So
Well, as I was so rudely interrupted by the internet, I was going to say, Kathleen, but feet are the first thing you look at when you meet a person. So,
wait, what? They are?
yeah, you like start from the bottom and you work your way up. Well,
Is that why you don't have a lot of friends? Have you worried them and concerned them all by looking at their feet first?
I usually make eye contact first. But I mean, hey, you do you, boo boo. So
I don't make it a habit to look at anybody's feet.
Right back at you, Jesse.
Because feet are gross.
So, and he says, "Hey, Jason," and John lied, said he missed your beautiful speaking voice. Anyway, we have some guests waiting for us so patiently in this virtual green room. Nick, who are they?
I don't know. I have to pull my thing up. Let's welcome our guest tonight, Jesse and Michelle from the Crusher Convo podcast.
I need to hold on. Normally, I would already bring them in, but I just need. After that comment, all right, and here we go.
I hear squeaking cackling from the other room.
I'm positive you're hearing cackling from the other room. Okay.
I love it when that happens.
No, Jason, you did not miss anything, and no, not feet first. Please do not scare the people that you talk to. So,
all right. As much as I love this sweatshirt, it's too hot.
All right. So, Jesse, Michelle, thank you so much. Welcome to the FSF podcast. Glad you guys could join us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Hey, before we get into anything tonight, take a moment, tell everybody about your show, Crusher Convo Podcast, what it's about, where people can find it, and Nick will wait a moment until his next comment.
I guess that question's for me. So I started Crusher Convo on Twitter Space back in July, just to have conversations with fellow Beverly Crusher fans, and it got popular enough that it became a podcast, and we started just this year on January 1st. So yeah, it's been really great. It's literally we are deep diving the next generation in the eyes of Beverly Crusher and why she is such a pivotal character and role model for a lot of fans. So that's our intent.
That is
very cool.
cool.
So let me ask you this: as somebody now, I've for many people who've listened have known for years, I have mocked Star Trek openly, and I am just getting to a point where I'm actually. Like Strange New Worlds was my gateway drug. I started watching that. I very much enjoyed it. I've gone back. I started watching the original series, Captain Kirk issues aside. I still don't like William Shatner, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time.
Yep.
But what is it about Beverly Crusher that made you say, I want to have a conversation about this particular sci-fi universe, but from this perspective?
For me, I actually just started watching Star Trek last year. So February of 2022, my husband finally convinced me. It was his favorite show growing up. And when I started watching it, she kind of stuck out, in my opinion. I used to be a single mom. I was in college. I, tried to build a career, stuff like that. So I had that connection to her character. And then I also kind of have a connection with the whole Picard and Crusher dynamic because my husband and I were best friends before we got married. So there was just a lot of connections for me. And I just thought that how Gates played the character was very well done. And I think a lot of her episodes are underrated. And so I just wanted to bring that to light. But I know Michelle has a totally different story than mine.
All right. Well, cool. Michelle, tell us about your side.
The origin story.
The origin story, yeah.
Yes, mine is a little different.
We're all geeks here. We love a good origin story.
Absolutely.
So. Yeah.
So I grew up on Star Trek. My dad introduced it to me when I was 8. He started with the motion picture, which probably isn't the best way to get an 8-year-old involved in Star Trek, or 9-year-old. I can't remember exactly when, but I love TOS. My favorite character was Bones. So William Shatner issues aside, I love Spock and Bones. And I have to say, TNG came to me later, kind of like Jesse. My friend was really into TNG when we were growing up, and she, a few people cyber suggested and convinced me to watch TNG because Star Trek Picard was coming on, and I just fell in love with it. But I remember watching it when I was little, and I connected with Beverly Crusher even at a young age because I would occasionally, my dad would watch TNG, I'd watch it occasionally. My family, like my parents had my mom had a lot of medical issues when I was young growing up, and I was around hospitals and doctors a lot. So I really appreciated Beverly's compassion and the way that she treated her patients and the way that she respected, most of the time, respected her patients. And I really loved her relationship with Wesley, as opposed to the big scary captain that hated kids. That didn't really appeal to me when I was 8 or 9 years old. So, but I grew to love TNG, and but Jesse and I actually connected through the X-Files first.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were both X-Files fans, and then I saw she was watching TNG, and what about Beverly? So we kind of
She
got
reached
chatting.
out.
Yeah, we kind of got chatting. And then Jesse had created Crusher Convo several months later because we were chatting about it, like DMing with some other Bev heads. And that's a lot of people have used that term recently. Starfleet Boy actually told us about it. And we were also listening to Green Shirts and Open Pipe Night.
Yeah.
So many props to them. They helped. Basically, this podcast would not exist without them. So
Yes.
Jesse, Cam, John, Bobby, Marcy, Rob, thank you.
Oh,
And yeah. So enough with the shout outs, I know. But yeah, so Jesse and I connected, and we started chatting about it through Twitter Spaces. And then
That's cool.
Jesse decided she wanted to start a podcast. And so I describe it as she's the captain of that ship. And I kind of hang on by the nacelles and just kind of hop on for the ride.
Life.
Yeah, for dear life.
So are you her Riker then?
I guess the number one. People have been trying to say, like, who's Picard, who's Beverly. I see us as like the lower deckers. Like, we're just kind of,
Fair enough. That was the closest.
watching
I'm
it happen.
Mariner. Yeah, I'm Mariner.
That was the closest comparison I could give
yeah.
you. So.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And thank you to everybody in the chat that's showing so much love. Appreciate it.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I grew up
and
with
I'm
Star
apparently
Wars,
13 again.
I grew up with Star Wars, so this whole Star Trek universe is completely new to me, but I've been having a great time.
Yes.
So.
And I also love Star Wars, but my growing up was it was really Star Trek for me. So kind of a both end.
So I want to make one quick comment about one of the things that you just said. You said enough with the shout outs. First off, there's never enough time for shout outs, especially in an indie podcast community, because we all rely and lean so heavily on one another and to help us grow, to learn things and all these different things. And so if you've got people that you have leaned upon and you've learned from, by all means, shout them out. Give them the credit that they're due. I think that's awesome that you did that. So very cool.
We probably will continue to as the chat. There's so many people. Bonkers are blowing up the chat right now. We've got Jackie's there. I know Rosie was on earlier. Jesse and
Where's Beverly podcast? Adrian and Sophia.
Adrian and Sophia for sure. Yep. We are bonkers, and they are awesome.
Speaking of shout outs, Jason from Three Geeks podcast. There we go. We'll shout him out. We do a lot. We actually do a lot. We do a lot with Jay and the guys in Three Geeks, even though I think they're back down to fully Three Geeks now. But there was like a roving band of 17 geeks at one point, but they're a really cool show. And if you guys aren't following Three Geeks, please go check them out. They do some really wonderful stuff, and we always look forward to our next opportunity to work with them.
Jason is now my Last of Us watch partner.
Oh, there you go.
Unfortunately, I watch it on Sundays. He watches it on Monday, so I watch it Sunday night, and then I'm like all day Monday with you. Come on. Finish watching the show.
I like that John Wass said, grab it by the nacelles is going to be his new personal phrase book in his new personal phrase book. We got to put that on a t-shirt.
Right.
There you go.
We know a guy.
I got so many t-shirts I have to make. I'm going to need to make a list.
So where are you guys at in the Star Trek universe? Like, have you watched it all?
I'm trying. I'm trying
that way.
So in the last year, I've now watched The Next Generation, Picard, DS9, Strange New Worlds, and Lower Decks.
You are so far ahead of me. It's not even funny.
And now my husband is trying to he's watched it all. Like I said, he's the huge Star Trek fan, and he's now rewatching Voyager, and he's like, "Come on, let's go." And I'm like, "I just finished DS9. Let me have a break."
That's what you said to me too. I'm like, we're going because Star Trek Picard season 3 is coming out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So we're very excited about this as TNG fans. But Jesse and I kind of rewatched. I never saw DS9 except for a couple of episodes. So Jesse and I we didn't plan it, but we watched it at the same time. So we binge watched DS9. I have seen the original series. I've seen the animated series. I mean, I'm suggesting for her to watch the animated series, which is so out of left field.
Yeah.
No time for that now. There's no time, as Michael Scott
I have
would
seen
say.
like 5 official episodes of the original series, so I feel like
yes,
I'm getting there.
You're a Trekkie. Anybody who likes any Star Trek is a Trekkie in my book. So no matter what you like, it's all awesome. I've seen Lower Decks, Discovery.
There we go.
Yeah, Tim, you are a Trekkie.
This is the first time I've ever been called a Trekkie in my life.
I have no authority to say that, but
no, I'll take it. I will happily take it. I'm kind of stalled out in because I'm trying to watch it from the original series, and I kind of stalled out in season 2 because I hit my Kirk limit, and I was kind of at the wall, and I'm like, okay, I'm done here for a little bit.
You're not missing much with season 3. I could do some episode recommendations for you, but I've seen all of TOS. I've seen the movies. I've seen all the movies, all the new stuff, I believe. I've watched Voyager live, but I'm kind of doing a Voyager rewatch now in preparation. Okay. And I have not seen Enterprise. So that's kind of my one Trek that's still hanging out. And I love Bakula. So I don't know what happened there.
Thank you, Twin B76. I do appreciate that because you're right. He is a lot. Just half the time I'm just like,
Jackie is correct.
What? Just shut up. But
I don't know what you're talking about, Tim.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who does a horrible impression of that. But
so bad. I mean, I don't disrespect.
I kind of jumped. Oh, it's okay. You can disrespect him. I'm okay with it. I jumped off of TOS for a little bit and went to Lower Decks and Prodigy, trying to get. I'm like, well, let's go to something that's more fun. And I watched a couple episodes of DS9 because we've had Armin Shimmerman on the show, and he's coming back in about a week to come back. He's round 2 with Armin, so we're actually very excited that he said yes the first time, B that we didn't scare him away and he's actually coming back.
After the first interview with him, he said, "Okay, so next time we do this," and I'm like, "Yay!"
Did you see him on Lower Decks? He was on Lower Decks.
I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm only a couple episodes.
Spoilers. Apologies.
It's okay.
We're dropping spoilers all the time.
Well, here's the thing. For anything that's been out for any length of time, I'm not real big on spoilers. I only get concerned with that came out this morning, you giant bag of buttholes. Could you give us time to watch it?
All these people watching these Picard season 3 screeners, I'm like, you guys better not say anything for the next 2 months. Yeah.
I haven't watched any Picard yet, but I'm actually excited and probably will start watching it just because Mika Burton is coming into season 3 as Geordi LaForge's daughter. Yes. And I'm like, yay!
Yeah.
After growing up watching Star Trek and reading Rainbow, I'm like, I am a huge LeVar Burton fan. So then to see his daughter get to play his daughter on screen, I'm like, I'm not going to cry. You're going to cry. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think you need to watch season 1 and 2, they said. It's so funny. They're like, definitely watch The Next Generation. Rewatch that. But don't worry about Picard season 1 or 2. So anybody who's a fan of Picard season 1 or 2, my apologies.
Right.
I'm kind of
go ahead and watch season 1.
I think they should watch Picard. Yeah. I would suggest watching Picard seasons 1 and 2. Season 2 is a little
off left field. But season 1, it's okay. We're good. Season 1.
Check it out.
John, I was not particularly referring to you, John. You usually do pretty good at least masking your comments. And he usually starts off with, okay, has everybody watched it yet? We have our podcast group chat on Facebook. We message each other probably too often, but that's another topic.
That's a topic for our therapist.
My therapist is tired about hearing it. No, let's put it that way. So yeah, but Rosie says that she loves TOS, loves TNG, some DS9, a little Voyager. She also said just a moment ago that she's a brown coat, which if you guys haven't heard, we also have Jewel State coming to the show here very shortly, who played Kaylee Fry on Stargate. No, I'm sorry, on Firefly. I got it mixed up, and she was also on Stargate as well. So
we love Strange New Worlds because we love Open Pike, and actually Open Pike got Jesse into Strange New Worlds.
Yep. And actually got me on the podcast for the first time too.
Yes. So we love Strange New Worlds.
Those boys, they set this train going.
More Tegas. That's what...
Exactly. So so I watched the first episode of Strange New Worlds almost on a lark. I was bored. I wasn't sure what, I there wasn't anything else out that I wanted to watch right then, right there, that I hadn't already seen. And I'm like, well, and I had heard some decent buzz about Strange New World. So I'm like, I'll check it out. But I think at that time, there was already a couple episodes out when I actually decided to sit down and watch it. And I was about halfway through the first episode. I'm like, oh, this ain't so bad. I could probably watch this. And then before I knew it, I was into episode 2. And I think then episode 3, it just kind of kept on going.
Do you like Sam Kirk?
I don't know. I was kind of indifferent towards him.
Because I know you don't. If you don't like the Shatner, they're not doing it like Shatner. But like it's not Kirk. But Sam Kirk, to me, I love his portrayal on there. I think that's great.
I thought he was fine. I was just indifferent towards him. My favorite character was Hemmer, and so spoilers. He swan dives with a Gorn baby,
Wrath of Khan style. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. So I was a little disappointed about that. And when we got a chance to sit down with Bruce Horak and we talked with him, he had some pretty interesting theories about how Hemmer could actually come back in different timelines and different things. But, this is true. Open Pike Night. It is the official podcast of Sam Kirk's mustache. So, and also Rosie, Sudden but Inevitable or Open Pike Night refers you to Strange New Worlds after you're done watching Disco. So, but
which I went backwards. I haven't watched Discovery yet.
Bruce Hart, Klingon Barista.
Plenty of time to catch up.
So so I'm hoping to get back into. I'm going to pick and choose probably some of the episodes in the rest of season 2 for the original series, and I'm going to jump in with. I don't know, probably jump into go straight next to the Next Generation and then kind of go on from there. I tend to like to watch things in chronological order.
Mm-hmm.
And
give
you can make
TNG a break for the first 2 seasons. It's a little rough.
Oh my
start.
gosh, I was just thinking that, Michelle.
Yeah,
because that was my husband's
judge
warning.
It hard. You're gonna be like,
my husband warned me. He was
this
like,
is not what I was promised.
He's
but
like,
season 3. Season 3. Yeah,
I'm okay with that because I mean, even when I refer people to watching, like one of my all-time favorite shows, TV series is actually the Clone Wars from Star Wars, the animated series.
Love
and
the Clone Wars.
Yeah, but I always tell people, please don't judge it on season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Get into season 2. Get in beyond that. There's so much story that they're setting up, and so much that they have to build up to get to the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That you got to get through that. So
you got to get past thinking it's a kids show.
Right. When the soldiers' heads start falling off beside them, you realize it's no longer a kid show and it's fun.
No.
Even Prodigy is like that, where it is supposed to be a kid show, but really it's for adults and kids. But I've watched some of the Clone Wars, and I'm glad you said that because I did have a hard time getting into it.
Yeah. Both the Clone Wars and Rebels, you have to get through season 1, and then the story really takes off from there. I honestly think, I know we've been talking a lot about Star Trek, but to go over to Star Wars for just a quick second here, I really believe that's Dave Filoni's storytelling style. He builds you the clock to tell you the time.
Yep.
But the good thing about that is there's such a great payoff at the end, with everything and the way the story builds up. So, yeah.
I had a harder time.
6 years, Tim.
What's that?
You have made so much progress in 6 years.
I had a hard time with Rebels too, especially because I loved Clone Wars so much. And I loved how they were taking the story and just building all that backstory to it, especially because I'm not a fan of episode 1, 2, and 3 of Star Wars. But season 3 for Rebels, I was like, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, season 3
yeah.
of Rebels is great.
Oh my gosh,
Totally.
it's amazing. Yeah.
So yeah, season 3 Rebels is amazing. Season 4 is very good. At the end
Mhm.
of season 4, grab your tissues. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
And season 7 of Clone Wars, grab your tissues. That's all I'm
Yep.
going to say. I have watched each of those series. Well, at least 8-10 times, all the way through.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, I just, I'm gonna cry today. It's gonna happen. I know it's happening. You just
Yeah.
you just got to go for it. And yeah, Rosie, payoffs are good if you can build it. And it's one of those things like the baseball movie with Costner, Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Field of
If
Dreams.
you build it,
Mhm.
they will come, and that's hopefully what's going on.
I
with
thought
some
that
of
was
the
from
things.
Muppets.
I love the
I'm-
Muppets.
Hey,
I love
Kermit.
the Muppets. I'm not sure Kermit said that, but he may have been
No, it was in,
parodying it.
It was Animal.
it was
It was
from
Animal.
Muppets. No, it was from Muppets in Space, and
Oh,
the
yeah. I love Muppets in Space. How did
the
I not
King
remember
Crab
that?
and the other guy said to Gonzo behind the fan, they were like, "Build a jacuzzi."
Yes, that's right. That's right. Gonzo's
So it's
an
a-
alien. Yes.
Oh
There you go.
gosh.
He does. You have a masterful use of tropes. He builds on the stuff that you read and see every single day,
Mhm.
and pulls out some really good storylines from those things. The hidden in plain sight stuff is what I like the most with him.
Yeah.
The stuff that that's coming, and you know it's coming, and you can feel it coming. You know it's
Yeah.
getting set up, and it's here it is. You already knew this what it was, but here's the awesome storyline that's behind it. So I
Yeah.
do like that. And yes, Cad Bane is awesome. He's my favorite bounty hunter.
Justice for Cat.
I'm not even going to argue with that.
I know, me either. Now it's funny because we've been talking a lot about season 3 of Picard because the trailer dropped yesterday, and there's a certain way it looks like it's going, and everyone's like, "But that's too tropey." And I'm like, "But it could still be good. Like even though you know what that might be, if the story's good and you're not expecting it to be like that, then I'm all for it."
Yeah, but tropes are tropes for a reason.
Yeah.
Because they're tried and true.
Mhm.
That you can of course do bad tropes.
Bad tropes. Yep.
You can do a bad take on a trope. That happens all the freaking time.
Mhm.
But I mean, if they build it well and they do it well, if you build it, they will come. And so
Yep.
hopefully that's what they're doing with Picard as well.
That's what I'm hoping for.
We
I
can
never
only
don't
hope.
like space cowboys.
Yeah.
Can't take the sky from me.
That's right. So yeah. All right. So yeah, they like your shirt, by the way.
Yeah, this was Jesse's design here.
Yeah.
Looks very.
Oh,
Jesse
nice.
does some nice artwork
I try.
and some good fan vids too. Very multi-talented.
there you go.
Yeah, that's just my therapy. That's all it is.
Boom, right there. What Melissa's saying right there. Very, very good note. Tropes aren't
Mhm.
always bad. It's
Exactly.
the writing that matters. It's how
exactly.
Yes,
It's how you
and
build
from
it.
what I understand, Terry Matalas is a master. He's show running Picard season 3, so
Mhm.
I think we are in for a good ride. If anything is to be said of the people that have had the screeners and are coming back with just some really positive stuff. So
I feel like
Yeah.
we're
hopeful.
I feel like he's
Cautiously
gonna,
optimistic.
yeah, I feel like he's gonna give the fans what they want in a way that we never expected.
Which is
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just
Which is
and
fine.
Yeah.
That could be amazing. And
Mhm.
Kathleen, somebody likes your Critical Role shirt.
Why, thank you. And thank
Yeah.
you. The unicorn sweatshirt is also Critical Role, but it was too warm because there's a heat vent right under my desk.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
also why I'm sitting like
We don't
this.
want you passing out or
My
anything,
legs
so
are Like I have put my legs up on my bed so that they're not directly in front of the heat. Because it's I'm gonna get dizzy.
you got to be comfy.
Yeah, you look comfortable. Yes.
As I'm over here walking through Hyrule, because
I,
We're not
Well-
as important as Link and Zelda.
Look, I understand. That's fine.
I'm all the
Please.
I just have to go defeat Ganon now.
Oh, I let
The-
my husband do that for me. I did everything else. I was like, there you go. Finish the game for me.
Well, I decided I was going to go hunting, but then there was a thunderstorm, and it's
Oh, you
not
can't do
very
that.
complicated.
Something about metal and lightning. I don't know.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. That's it.
Star Trek. Star
Hey.
Trek saves lives. That's it.
It worked out for Benjamin Franklin, metal and lightning. Might not
But
be
it's
all that
really
bad.
hard when you're walking through it all of a
Potentially,
sudden there's
yeah.
just the zapping from your back, and you're like, wait, crap, which one do I have? Do I
Change
have
the
a
shield,
weapon
change
that's
the
not
sword,
normal?
put it all away, swap it out with a stick. I remember.
Yes.
I always wanted one of those Ghostbusters power packs there. So, just the
John-
one back.
John has noticed your dedication as well, Kathleen.
You know
so.
what, John Was? Couch looking pretty comfy, mister.
Look,
We-
I'm just glad we have a fellow female podcaster on.
Isn't
Which
it
is
great?
exciting.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
watching all these
What are my
screeners
favorite
come
games?
back, which I love. Like, no disrespect, but it's nice to have a good mix. I
It
appreciate
is.
the
Absolutely.
mix. Yeah.
So before we get into our topic, I just have one thing to say is you learn 12 things about somebody by looking at their feet. And you only learn 5 things about somebody when you look them in the eye.
All right, so we're done with Nick tonight.
Sam,
Where
I'm
was
with
that
Kathleen.
going?
I do not
Where's that
care
going?
for feet. It's just not.
Nobody does. No.
I'm good.
Yes,
I'm just
Kathleen
saying
is
you learn so much
multitasking.
more about a person.
And John, yes, in theory, we did have a topic. We actually gave them a topic. We're having so much fun actually just chatting about likes and things. It's been a great conversation.
I hate
I
to
saw
drag
no-
that topic on, but there's a
Yeah.
TNG episode that would definitely agree with Nick there. That episode with Troy and that guy
Mich-
that,
Oh.
Michelle's
that-
about to get kicked out of the group, but
I'm trying to make conversation with Nick because this is the first time I've heard him talk. So
yeah,
Like,
Nick
yeah.
actually really does want to show his feet. He's just, he's shy. He hasn't put a mustache on his
Oh.
toenails yet, but he's getting there.
2,000 subscribers.
To be fair, I don't actually look at people's feet first. I was just saying that. I do look them in
Nice
the eye.
cover up.
Mhm.
I was thinking the same thing, Kathleen.
we hope we can
Yeah,
only,
so-
again we can only hope.
Right?
And now I know what's the first thing I'm gonna have to talk about with the police when they come by. So,
Oh, great! Now I can't think of that. Now I keep thinking of that TNG episode. Thanks a lot,
You're
Michelle.
welcome. You're
I
welcome.
hate that
Thank
episode.
TNG
Oh my
for
gosh.
objectifying Troy like that because they're good like
Right.
that. It's like
Well,
really.
they've done it multiple times that we've done.
Nick might like the
Crusher Convo.
episode, but everybody else is like, no, thank you.
No, thank
this
you."
is fine.
Ah.
hey, I've put it out there a couple different times. Y'all are gonna mess around and get some feet pics if you don't subscribe to our Facebook, but our YouTube channel.
I better do that
It's
right
gonna
now.
happen.
Yet you've been threatened.
That's right.
Mm.
I
But
am not.
at 1,000 subscribers, Tim and Nick still have to do the putting on the Ritz from Young Frankenstein.
This is true.
With
There you go.
lightsabers.
Yeah, we're gonna use our lightsabers as canes
Instead of the
and-
canes. Oh, awesome.
And
Young Frankenstein
get-
is like my third favorite movie of all time.
yeah, and I get to be Frankenstein's monster and just do the. So
Chewie?
really bad.
Is that
Really
Chewie?
bad. Exactly. Really bad Chewbacca impressions. Exactly.
No, I bought it. That's yes.
No, we
Oh.
could. I have a Wookiee hat. We could make that happen.
Oh my gosh.
He's not wrong. We will threaten you. Sign up or else. It's happening.
Pretty sure.
Maybe Jesse can take a page off your book there. That's just like the next open pike night.
But I think though that threat.
So Nick can have an only friends. Ouch.
I came on here. I was told this was a family-friendly podcast. I don't know. Just-
Stereotypical monster impression is offensive to monsters. Not if they don't know it. Only if they hear it. If they're
Only
not
if they hear it.
subscribing, they don't know.
So
So I'm good.
back to the other places offer incentives. I'm pretty sure that this is just it's an incentive to not have to see something.
It's all in how
Good
you
point.
look at it. It's about perspective, really. So it comes down to, do you see it as a threat or do you see it as a way to avoid the danger?
Right?
I don't know.
Is it a
Jesse,
head-
you want to start?
Is it a heads
threatening our
up for the
listeners?
danger? You know,
What can we threaten our bev heads about? Can
we start off Nick
threaten
in a
them
banana
on
hammock.
Pulaski. We're gonna bring on Pulaski episodes.
Yeah.
If you don't listen.
That's true.
We're gonna start off with an image of Nick and just like a banana hammock, and then then everybody that subscribes will put more clothes on.
I mean, you've already seen me as a geisha, so there's that.
There's that. Kathleen's like, can I just turn my camera off and go away now?
That's why Kathleen was playing a video game. You understand this?
I'm like, if I turn my camera off and I pretend that it's technical difficulties, I can just disappear.
Now, bev heads, that's been used since the 80s, I understand. So I do not take credit for that. Starfleet Boy, he has a YouTube channel and a Twitter page. He kind of introduced, he's a big bev head. He introduced us to that phrase, and we have run with it.
Fathery did that one, Michelle.
Oh, maybe it was Fathery.
Yeah, because Bonkers has been around since '87.
Well, Fathery just told me on the last podcast.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, I was under the impression that it was them, but then they said it's been around way longer. Actually, it might have been Aaron. Aaron schooled him on it, I think. I think that was what was going on.
I see. All right. Yeah. That makes sense.
My laundry from there. Leave me alone.
All right.
And the opposite of strip poker is dress poker.
Start with a pile of clothes on the floor, put them on as you go. All right. So we actually did have a topic for these guys when we brought them in tonight. We like I said, we've been having so much fun. Didn't want to rush into it, but we're also 36 minutes into an hour-long podcast. So I kind of figure at some point we should probably talk to you about the topic that we made you guys worry about all week. So
wait, we were supposed to worry about it?
Well, not
Jesse
you.
and I worry. We get anxiety about these things.
I worried about
have drugs.
Jesse and Michelle were worried about it. Nick was overthinking it, and Kathleen's like, "I got Zelda."
I'm still overthinking it, and I'm not quite sure where I'm going with it. So.
You overthinking something? Never, ever, ever would I've suspected that.
Oh, me and
Have
Nick
you
are on
looked
the
into
same page.
anti-anxiety medications, Nick? They're very helpful.
Me? Yes, I am currently on one, and it helps me greatly.
Oh, Nick and his overthinking.
Oh, yeah, him. Okay.
I was overthinking everything today, and I took an extra pill, and then went out the window.
Ta-da!
Goodbye, overthinking.
All right,
Dr. Crusher prescribed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So on our last live show, which was on the 16th, so 2 weeks ago. Last week was a replay episode, was our night off, but we had the fellows from Some Nobodies was on, and we talked about our new topic, a new game we called it, character drop. So tonight we're going to try something new. This is the first time we've ever done this as well. So if it sucks, we don't do it again. So
You can stop
we've had a few things that have failed epically. Mad libs. And if this goes that route, we just leave it there and everything will be fine. So tonight our topic is called Still Better Than. So what it is, we're going to talk about one thing that we love, but even though there's something about it that we don't particularly enjoy. And then we're going to talk about, even though I don't particularly enjoy this thing, it's still better than this, and I would still rather watch it than this. Okay, so I'll go first to kind of set the example, and then Nick will be able to unthink so much, and because he'll see an example in place.
Or he'll completely overthink it.
Or he may, this is entirely possible, he may go just off the other direction. All right, so as it's been noted many, many times, I am a huge fan of Star Wars. There's not a Star Wars movie I hate other than the holiday special, but that's a whole nother thing. I say that a lot, by the way. That's a whole nother thing.
Yep.
And so one of my least favorite movies, though, is The Phantom Menace.
Rude.
Now, the reason why The Phantom Menace, even though I love almost everything Star Wars, I really, really, really have a hard time with Jar Jar. I was not of the right age group.
Oh, yes.
And so when I went to go see him, he was really badly placed comedy, poorly written comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like his storyline, his comedy actually was kind of just forced in there. My problem is not with Ahmed Best. I love Ahmed Best. He did great in the role that he was paid to do. I have no problem with the actor whatsoever. And for those of you who are still getting after Ahmed about the job that he was paid to do, dude, get a different hobby. Anyway.
It's not his fault. George Lucas is terrible at writing.
Exactly. Lucas, I've said this many times, Lucas is the idea guy. He should not be allowed anywhere near a keyboard. So
yes.
That's why he has Dave Filoni and now Jon Favreau and a bunch of other people. And John, no. Dear God, no.
Dorothy? Was Dorothy on the
yeah, she's got a whole shaken number that she no. All right, so even though I love Star Wars, I can't stand Jar Jar Binks, and I've been heard a rumor for some time, I still haven't been able to find it, that there's supposedly a edit of Star Wars Phantom Menace out there without Jar Jar in it completely, and I'd love to find that. However,
When you do, please send it my way.
absolutely, I'll be more than happy to
Please.
share that.
You can't stand Jar Jar. You have no idea.
Exactly. So even though I love Star Wars, that's my issue. However, that, as much as I can't stand Jar Jar, is better than anything Tom Cruise related. Now, I can't stand Tom Cruise. I despise the man with a passion. He'll never be on the show, mainly because I would never take him on the show.
Tim's my new best friend.
and I'll take that. I will wear that badge with honor. So originally, I was going to talk about the movie the franchise that he destroyed, The Mummy, but I hadn't watched that because I hate Tom Cruise. And I decided that I was going to sit down and watch it, but then I saw this article from Entertainment Weekly where Brendan Fraser explains why the Mummy reboot flopped, because it wasn't any good and it wasn't fun. That's Brendan Fraser's words, not mine. Brendan Fraser's, and frankly, Brendan Fraser could do no wrong, so he's right. And
Fraser, like Fraser.
I always say Fraser. I don't care. Anyway, he can correct me in person.
He's still correcting people, and if we get him on the show, I would love for him to correct me. Please.
Exactly. There was a reason why I threw it out there incorrectly. I'm hoping he'll come on and correct me. So instead, I decided to choose a movie of his that I actually have watched, and that I was actually kind of excited to watch, even though it had Tom Cruise in it. And that was the movie Valkyrie, because I love World War II history, and I was excited by the prospect of showing the movie of the group of men who were trying to stand up against Hitler and everything that Hitler was doing, and were trying to go against him. My problem is, not one of them would talk with even the slightest bit of a German accent. They were all just like, "Hey, Bob, we're going to go against Hitler now." And I had a distinct problem with the movie. It was written okay, but I don't know. I could not put my hatred for Tom Cruise in the box off to the side and go, okay, this movie could be okay. And the thing is that I'm not the only one who feels that way. Most critics and even your average viewers who watched it, they will tell you that it was decently written, but not all that exciting. It was a morally careful film. So they didn't take the chances that they should have taken probably with the movie. And it was my new favorite film critic. His name is Richard Probst from the independentcritic.com, who said that the film's biggest flaw was Tom Cruise. You, sir, are my new best friend. So anyway.
What about the War of the Worlds?
No?
That wasn't a no.
It wasn't the worst movie he's ever done. I've seen a few Tom Cruise. It was not as okay. So I thought Minority Report was decent, but it was also the same. I look at Tom Cruise like I see William Shatner. A lot of overacting, a lot of machismo. Like, I'm the best. I don't know. He just bucks the crap out of me. So anyway, but yeah. So Tim Curry is magic. I'm kind of trying to catch up to some of the comments. Let's see.
I saw the Muppet Treasure Island was dropped there, which
that was
pretty
my
awesome.
favorite Muppet movie.
Now
and I love Tim Curry.
I have to say, as a Muppet fan, Muppet Christmas Carol was mine.
So.
But I appreciate the old school, like the original Muppet movie.
Right down there. Just okay. I'll shut up now about my hatred for Tom Cruise.
Is a fantastic movie.
No matter what Fred says.
No matter what Fred says. Still owe Mr. Spooner an apology.
Quite possibly one of my favorite things ever.
No, but it's a good point. William Shatner and Tom Cruise do both act like it's like themselves acting, it feels like. Yes. As opposed to them slipping into a role.
Yeah. There you go. All right, so Kathleen, I'm going to make you go next. What do you got?
So I am a jack of all trades of sci-fi. There is not one sci-fi that I love more than others, which is hard because that actually made this really difficult. But I was thinking about Doctor Who. And I love Doctor Who. And I love all things Doctor Who.
She's a Whovian.
But also, how many times can you defeat the Daleks and the Cybermen For the last time. I finally
Preach it.
and then they come back.
Yep.
Again. It gets a little old. It gets a little old with the show's been going for almost 60
You look like you've
years.
been triggered, Kathleen. Just explaining this.
That happens a lot on Crusher Convo, so we recognize it.
We
They're
recognize it.
like, the Daleks are back. The Daleks are back.
And I mean,
Daleks are
it's
back.
hard because, yes, it's a 60-year-old franchise, but come on. Come up with
Yeah.
new ones.
Yeah.
However, that being said, I will watch Daleks and Cybermen any day over Dune.
Now, which one?
Which one?
Yeah, which one?
Yeah.
Either of them.
Oh,
Really?
I
Patrick
did
Stewart
make
was
it
in the
all the
first
way
one.
through the new one. I did actually watch the new one with Timothée Chalamet.
Really? Okay.
The original one, I made it to the 30-minute mark, and that is as far as I have gone with it because this is the slowest piece of crap.
See, I'm holding up my fingers here, and imagine this to be a piece of bamboo. Now, for the first one, you have to insert the bamboo directly
Yes!
under the fingernail.
So John and I were watching it, and it was because I had to watch it for something. Okay,
That's why you watched it right there.
that is why I watched it. That is the only thing that could be going
She's like, two problems. Number one, he shaved his face. Number two, he didn't take his shirt off. What the hell?
right? No, and so when I watched the first one, I watched the first 30 minutes of the first one for our show. That was the only reason I have ever watched Dune. And it was I will try to make it 30 minutes into this. I will try. And it was the 25-minute mark. I'm like, okay, I can do 5 more minutes. I can do 5 more minutes of this. And it was, I'm pretty sure on my HBO login, it is 30 minutes exactly on the playtime on Dune. And I have not touched it. I can't do it.
It's still hard to watch that and see Sting run around in his metal undies with Captain Picard. So
Patrick Stewart.
Yep.
that's right. So,
Sir Patrick Stewart. Sorry.
all right. Nice one, Kathleen. I like it. All right, Jesse, you're next.
Okay, so since I'm getting into Star Trek and just saw DS9, I really enjoyed Deep Space Nine. I thought the stories were awesome. I didn't really connect to the characters as much as the Next Generation, but it didn't really matter because every episode, especially season 6, was just phenomenal.
Mhm.
However, the finale of DS9, I have a bit of an issue with because I thought it was really weird and just dumb that Cisco is just off in some temple with the prophets, and it just seemed too more fantasy-like, and I don't know, it just didn't seem Star Trek to me. And then the fact that he left Cassidy and the baby, spoiler alert, but I was all, what the hell is this? I don't get it. But a lot of people know I'm a Xena fan. I love Xena.
Well, because
Xena was my favorite show growing up, and
Nice.
I would watch DS9 finale over and over again rather than the finale of Xena. I saw it once, never saw it again. It's been 20 years, and I still haven't gotten over it. It made no sense on why, for one, that she was killed in that manner, and two, she's been redeeming herself this whole time. Why was it this group of people that she's like, I'll stay dead for them? Like, it made no sense.
no sense.
And then Gabrielle all of a sudden is like, well, I'm the warrior. I'm out. Still watch. I mean, I'll still go back to my DVDs and watch it up until the finale. Like, I can't. And that
Just
hurts.
a canon,
so
a new
bad.
finale for it. It's way better.
I love how Jesse's like, I'll watch all of it and eject. Except
And
for
we're
that,
done.
we're not watching. No,
We're done.
But
I swear.
She's like, my work is done here.
there are other shows that I agree with that. I agree with Jesse. I will not watch the finale of Xena again. I will not watch the finale of MASH ever again.
Oh,
Ever again.
yeah.
I cannot.
It's just hard. It's just
I'm
hard.
worried
It just
about-
didn't make sense to that.
I'm worried about the MASH one now because my wife and I have been rewatching that series all because that's one of my wife's favorite shows, and I think we're in the next to last season. So okay, that's good. Heads up. All right.
Also,
Fair
one of the
warning.
most watched finales of all time, right?
It is.
I think it
is,
was,
but it is
yeah.
also one of the hardest.
I mean, and I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I was a
Bad.
huge Xena fan. I have this massive collection. I went to Xena conventions. I met the actors. I have autographs. Like, and that finale killed me. I was 16 years old, and I would never forget it. And I was just done. So this would DS9.
Mm-hmm.
I'll repeat it over and over again.
All right.
Yeah,
Very
that was
good.
mine.
I like it. You chose well. Okay.
Thank you.
Nick, have you underthought it enough to give some, or do you need another
I think
example
s-
yet?
No, I think I've underthought it enough.
Okay.
So I love the show Firefly. The only thing that I don't like about that show is that it ended way too early.
Yup.
And
Fair.
but I would rather watch Firefly over and over and over again than watch The Last Airbender.
The movie.
The
The
movie.
movie or the series?
The movie.
movie.
I'll watch the series all day long, but I
Okay.
will not watch the movie.
No, because the movie.
I have never watched the movie, mainly because my daughter is a huge anime fan and she loves The Last Airbender, and she has threatened to throw things at my TV if I push play.
I'll agree.
See, and I watched the movie before I ever watched the cartoon, the anime.
Oh no.
So the movie wasn't as bad until I watched the original, and then I'm like, oh wow, that's why everybody hated it. Oof.
Right. I think that I would have to, and I've only watched a couple episodes of Avatar with her, The Last Airbender, the Nickelodeon series. I've only ever watched a couple episodes of that, but I think I could probably still get away with watching the movie and then coming back, because like literally I've seen 2, maybe 3 episodes, and one of them I may have been ankles deep in a Twitter conversation with somebody else about something, in general. But yeah.
So I will say that when I went and saw the movie in
He's not
theaters,
wrong.
unfortunately, I was like, this can't be it. Like, if they were releasing the next fulfillment in the storyline, I might go and see it. But I was just like wanting more, and I couldn't get it.
Okay, John raises a very good point here. You watched the Last Airbender movie, which is supposedly horrible, which I have to say supposedly because I've never watched it, but you still haven't watched The Rise of Skywalker, which is 50-50 with people as to whether it's decent or it sucks. And depends on which day is 51%, which day is 49% for me. And Kathleen says thanks, but no thanks. You're going to watch it. You are.
Eventually, yes.
Guess what's coming to our Patreon? A watch party with Kathleen for Rise of Skywalker. So
Kathleen is duct taped into a chair.
we're gonna like a Clockwork Orange you and like, pull open your eyelids and the whole thing.
I'll watch Clockwork Orange. I have no problem doing that.
So Rise of Skywalker is also the best.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna watch Clockwork Orange.
50-50 is generous. Somehow Palpatine returned. Worst line in cinematic history ever.
See, and I think that was why, like, when
He just
When 9 came out-
showed up.
and it was that's what everybody was like, and somehow Palpatine. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done. That's
I thought one of the best things about Rise of Skywalker, in my opinion, is that at least they gave Leia a dignified send off.
Mm-hmm.
They finished out her storyline very well with what they had to work with, and I was happy that they took care of it that way.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole Exegol trip, and anyway, so yeah, so there are some very redeeming qualities and some very redeeming things about the Rise of Skywalker. That's a whole nother rant. I need to shut up.
all right.
Anyway, Michelle, your
Full
turn. I need to-
episode.
Wait a second. I will make a deal with you, Tim.
Okay.
We can Patreon watch party make Kathleen watch episode 9. As long as there is also a Patreon watch party, make Tim watch Cats.
That's cruel and unusual punishment.
Wow.
Who was
No,
making me watch episode 9?
Are you
No,
and Tim
no.
friends? I don't understand.
No, here-
I don't know. Cats is bad.
She is the little sister I never wanted. here's the thing. I've already seen Cats, and I know it sucks. That's the difference.
The 2019 version with Furry Taylor Swift. Have you seen that one?
Oh, God.
CGI cat buttholes, Tim.
No! God.
So bad.
All right. Anyway, we need to shut up. We need to give the floor here to Michelle because it's totally
It's not going to be
her
that
turn.
exciting.
It's got to be better than talking about cats. So
I
go
have
ahead.
overthought this more than Nick has, and I've flip-flopped back and forth about what to talk about. So for me, we'll start with, I love the X-Files. So
Okay.
I am a big X-Files fan, grew up an X-Files fan, watched it when it was on. There were some rough seasons, and particularly season 9 was a little rough for me with the X-Files. Season 8, season 9, the reboots,
Mhm.
But as a whole, like the X-Files, like I would rather watch any X-Files episode than watch Star Trek Nemesis. And shots fired by a Trekkie,
Wow.
by a TNG fan, and let me tell you why.
Season 10?
Because even season 10, because there's some great episodes in season 10. I would watch even the worst episode of season 10.
Oh my god. Okay.
Than Nemesis, and I'll tell you why. Because, there are great
They
scenes
cut out
in
all the
Nemesis.
Beverly Crusher scenes.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm a Beverly Crusher fan. And they
They cut
literally
them all
cut
out.
out her entire story arc in the movie. It's literally in deleted scenes. And you can see it, and you see an entire character arc. The only character arc she ever got in the movies, completely cut out. Plus, the director, if you watch director commentary in the behind the scenes, you see how giddy the director was over the worst choice in the movie, aside from cutting out Beverly's storyline, which was Troy's violation. I had to watch, we finally got Riker and Troy together, and what do we get? She's being assaulted by Picard's clone. And
On her wedding night.
Yeah, it's just awful. And it's like, this was 2002, not 1988. Like, we have not progressed at all. So
there's a reason why I played.
So Nemesis is particularly painful. Plus, like, they mourned, spoiler alert, Data dies. And for nothing, they mourn Data for 5 seconds. And then, oh, well, there's B4 is like, his B4 brother, like, so there were a lot of problems with Nemesis. Not to say there aren't scenes that I love in that movie, but I think I'd rather watch any X-Files than have to rewatch that entire movie from beginning to end.
This is why we're co-hosts, because I just knew.
Yeah, you said it. That's it. Like,
so the whole time you're talking about Nemesis, I was over here like Gandalf. I have no memory of this place. So, I've literally never seen it, so I'm taking...
Well, I haven't seen a lot of the movies that you've name dropped, so I felt bad. I'm like, I haven't
It's
actually
all right.
watched Dune. I don't know. But I understand if people haven't seen Nemesis, it's okay. You can give it a skip. And just find a synopsis somewhere about what happens so you kind of know that Data is dead.
John says that Nemesis is a remarkable disappointment in the Star Trek franchise. I think I've seen it once, and that was enough.
Just like my finale of Xena. Yes, that was it.
But if you think about it, Tim, it is you don't remember it because your brain has protected you from the crap that is Nemesis. It is a trauma response. Your brain has done the nope.
Yeah.
Well, see, my brain may have been like, Star Trek? There's Star Wars over here. Let's just go over there. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, to be honest with you. And I just avoided it completely.
Yeah.
So, not that my brain was being smart and protecting me ahead of time. That's that's adorable. Anyway. Yeah. All right. So, actually, I thought that was a lot of fun, guys. Thanks. We might actually try this again on another episode.
Yep. Are you serious?
We didn't tank it. We did good, Jesse.
Yeah, right. Perfect.
We didn't destroy a bit for another podcast.
No, you survived it. Way to go. So hey, just as a note for some upcoming pre-recorded episodes that we've got coming up. Now, we mentioned earlier on that we do have Jewel State from Stargate and Firefly coming. We also have Armin Shimmerman making 2.0 coming here shortly. But we also have a gentleman named Alex Hyde White. Now, he played Richard Reed, Mr. Fantastic, in the 1990s version of the Fantastic Four. It's now a cult classic movie. But he was also in the beginning of Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. He played young Henry Jones, Indiana Jones' father, before Sean Connery, so they could de-age him and all that kind of stuff. But we've also recently interviewed Cal Dodd, Lenore Zapp, and George Buza from X-Men 97, which is upcoming on Disney Channel here shortly, which is not a reboot, but a continuation of the X-Men animated series from the 90s. So if you were a fan of that, that is coming up. And also want to show this. This is a picture of Beast, signed by George Buza. When his episode goes live this Friday, there will be 3 of these up for auction. And now the reason I mention that here and now is that we work with a charity called Wish Upon a Teen. Wonderful charity. They help out kids who have been in hospitals for an extended period of time. And so they help out sick kids when they need it most. They helped out my daughter during her 97-day hospital stay. They're wonderful people, and we want to be able to help them out as much as we can. So if you're a fan of X-Men, that picture's coming. We have pictures of Rogue from Lenore Zapp. We have pictures of Wolverine signed by Cal Dodd. And we're in the works on something else. I can't say what it is just yet because we haven't got finalized the confirmation of it, but there's possibility of some pretty big signed memorabilia coming forward that we'll be able to put up for auction for you guys to get your hands on. And some people will be a little more excited about it than others. We'll just say that. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm excited. I loved the X-Men.
I was gonna say you're a big X-Men fan, right, Jess?
I mean, I had 2 parakeets named Phoenix and Saga. Like that was
Nice. Excellent.
I just watched them for Patrick Stewart, so
that's why when it became the movies, and I was like, Charles Xavier I like cried. It was like a great experience.
I didn't watch them until after I watched TNG, so that you're talking. Like,
I'm backwards. Yeah, Patrick is my Charles first before Picard, but yeah,
same here.
Love that. Love the animated series.
So last Friday, our guest was author, journalist, and associate editor of StarWars.com, Kristen Baver. Not only does she work in the universe that we all love, but she writes about it as well. Kristen has authored some great Star Wars books. Like Skywalker, or Star Wars books you need to know about: Skywalker, A Family at War, The Art of Star Wars, The High Republic, and Star Wars Timelines. Not to mention all the interviews and articles she's written and published for StarWars.com as well. We talked to Kristen about how she got into the universe, what keeps her coming back, and even some talk about her cat, one Hector Smidget. We also talk about how she does her work, picks her projects, and have her answer some questions from fans of the show. I cannot read tonight.
We were totally picking up on that. Here's a little trailer about Kristen, though.
And I just put, everything I could into that book during that process, with the idea that, I hope I get to do more of these. I hope I get to write other books. But if this is the only book I ever get to write in this space, I'm going to make it count.
I was, the 12-year-old kid sitting here going, hi, thanks for talking to me. This is cool. Sam Witwer.
I'm mixing all the fandoms today. The Vulcan Mind.
I love it.
Fantastic.
Like it's all just coming together. Hello, this is Kristen Baver, and you're listening to the FSF PopCast.
Your home for the all-nerdy, no-dirty interviews with people in our sci-fi and pop culture world.
It's like, that's a 2023 problem, Nick. I don't know. It'll come out sometime.
That's 2023 Kristen's problem.
Yeah,
Exactly,
I keep trying. My brain keeps trying to check out of 2022. I completely understand.
All right.
That is so cool.
It was such a fun episode.
Did she say Vulcan in there? I heard a Vulcan.
She
Oh, yeah.
did.
Yeah.
There's Vulcan mind meld reference.
I am pretty sure she referenced. I mean, she did Star Wars, Star Trek. She might have done
Lord of the
Firefly
Rings.
reference. There was a Lord
There
of the Rings
was.
reference. Yeah, no, it was.
There's
it
a
was
couple others.
Rounded.
I love
pretty
Lord of the
well-rounded
Rings.
conversation.
Oh yeah.
But you guys can still find that episode up on our YouTube channel and on your favorite audio podcast providers. And guys, do not forget your subscription to our YouTube channel is a major help. Remember, 1,000 subscribers. Nick and Tim have to do a silly dance. 5,000 subscribers. And I will do something stupid live on the internet.
2,000, not 5,000. You keep.
No,
trying
I'm
to
going
up that
5 for this one.
number. Yeah, whatever.
Gotta earn
It's
that.
2,000. It's 2,000, and she's gonna do something stupid too. So don't you worry about that.
Yes, 2,000 I will do something stupid. 5,000 I will allow Tim to shave my head on a live show. We get
Whoa.
5,000 YouTube subscribers. I will let Tim shave my
Make
head
it happen.
on a live
Make
show.
it happen.
Wow.
You guys are into like the threats here. I like it. Threatening
You
your
great
cool or else.
friendship.
This is,
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at how big these ears are. I will look ridiculous with a shaved head. I will look like the 8th dwarf. Just
You know
You're
what?
so brave.
If we just put an arrow on
brave.
your head,
I don't
you'll
think
look like the Avatar.
You'll look ridiculous, but I think you're brave. Yeah.
Yes.
But guys, don't forget, click like and subscribe when you watch our videos on YouTube. Make us do stupid things for your entertainment.
I'm a good boy. All right. So anyway, be sure to tune in on Friday. You'll have an interview with George Buza, aka Beast, from X-Men the Animated Series and X-Men 97 coming up on Disney Plus. That'll be there, not only, like we said, on YouTube, but also your favorite audio podcast provider. Want to say thank you to Jesse and Michelle for joining us tonight. If you liked our conversation, please go check them out on Crusher Convo. You guys are a lot of fun. You guys are a hoot to talk to. This has been one of our more fun live shows in quite a while. Just the
thank
engagement
you.
has been a lot of fun. You guys
You
are
guys
treat.
were fun.
Yeah, this has been
great.
great.
Oh,
We're happy
thank
to
you
be
so
here.
much.
Thank you.
So if you guys notice down in the show notes down below, you guys will see that we put their Twitter handle in there. Please go check them out on Twitter. Follow them on your favorite podcast providers. And just give these guys some support. They're just getting started out on their actual podcast, and we'd love to see them make a big splash. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Guys.
So I think that's going to conclude us for our live show because, we're only like 6 minutes over. Who's counting?
Hey,
I'm not counting. Who's
not like
counting?
there's anybody coming on after us. It's our show. We make the rules.
Yeah, the Mark.
Long and prosper. Yes.
That one. There it is. So that's the one. I was
Mhm.
getting there. I was making
You
my way
do?
there.
You
Those
do
are
too?
reptilian hands, Nick.
Oh, I thought it was like
Is there one?
quadruple live long.
I can't even do that one. I can only do that.
You're
I,
the-
can do,
I
I
can
can't
do
do
both.
that.
There you go. See?
And you're supposed to be
Nice.
more of the Trekkie than I am. I'm over here like, Star Wars boy going, hey, live long and prosper. And you're like, reptiles. So,
Yeah, I was
anyway.
just saying live long and prosper multiple times.
And to
Oh.
all of the other critters that are out there tonight as well.
And to all the other critters, a tasty good night. Goodbye.
Ciao.
Bye.
On behalf of the rest of the hosts of the FSF podcast, we want to thank you for listening to this episode. If you'd like to be a guest on a future episode, please contact us by means of Twitter or Instagram using the handle @FSF Popcast, or go to www.fsfpopcast.com and click on the contact link. Thanks again, and hope you enjoyed the episode.